Welcome to my deathbed, Snow.
Welcome to your what?
My
There was a
deathbed.
noise like in between there.
It's my deathbed.
Oh, your deathbed.
Yeah, it's probably a death rattle.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened, but I feel like shit.
Maybe you have RSV. I think that's going around.
What's that?
It's some sort of like respiratory thing. But the thing is like they don't recommend the vaccine for that for like our age group. They only recommend it for like older people to go get the vaccine. So we're supposed to just suffer.
Oh, great. I don't know, my youngest kid has it, and they called it flu B.
So maybe your kid did get the RSV then, because they're saying like it's very like flu-like, but then what isn't flu-like? You know what I mean? Like everything's flu-like or will produce flu-like symptoms, you know?
I think like this whole thing, and this isn't going to be anti-vaccine. I think it's the opposite because I've had COVID like probably 3 times now. I think COVID like weakens your immune system because I haven't been sick in like this is the 3rd time in 2 months that I've been sick.
Yeah, I think COVID does a lot to people. Like for example, I don't really know what it has done to me. Like maybe I haven't paid enough attention, but like my sister, she said ever since having COVID, she can't eat spicy food. Like it just bothers her.
Oh my
Ever
God.
since she's had COVID, and she loved spicy food before, but she can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I've heard people that say like who like Coca-Cola say they can't stand the taste of it now after COVID.
Wow, it's just so weird.
But you got your booster, right? The latest one?
Oh yeah, I've had like all of them. Like I think I've had 5 or 6 shots total.
I haven't had the booster. I haven't had the booster because they say to wait till you're feeling good.
And you haven't felt good yet.
Yeah, and I haven't felt good. I go 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, it's time to go get the booster, and then I feel like crap again. I don't know.
Man.
So, hey, so last time we were talking about the homeless, and it came up with some statistics, so we're kind of well informed. We don't want to be uninformed, right? So we got to look this up. So this is based upon per capita per 10,000 people, and I was kind of surprised that a lot of blue states are really high up there. But the most prominent one is DC, where 65 out of every 10,000 people are homeless.
Yeah, I did see a lot of tents in DC when I was there.
California, 44 out of every 10,000. This was surprising. Vermont, 43 out of every 10,000 people. Vermont's not a place you'd think would have a lot of homeless, but...
I know, because isn't it cold?
Yeah, it's cold. But I did see, like, they had a much better shelter rate in Vermont. Like, the people are not living on the streets.
So they're at least staying warm in shelters.
Yeah, so Vermont is supposedly doing a good job at taking care of the homeless. New York, it's 38 out of every 10,000. Arizona, 18 out of every 10,000. Florida, 11 out of every 10,000. Low on the list, Mississippi with 4 out of 10,000, which makes no sense at all. Because isn't Mississippi like one of the biggest welfare states? Poverty.
Well, maybe it's because they have so many people on welfare, they're not technically homeless? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, that's a good question.
Or the shacks are where the living is just so run down. I don't know. I sort of can't figure that out. But, DeSantis saying, like, hey, California has this problem. I mean, California has 171,000 homeless, New York 74,000, Florida 25,000. So give it by population, though, Florida isn't really that great on the list.
Right. And how did they? It seems like it would be hard to accurately count the homeless. I wonder how they even go about doing that.
That is a good question. I mean, I guess you would have to go by. How do you do the survey? Because if you don't have, we have to do some more research on this. Again, we're not fully informed.
It's hard. It's hard to be like fully informed. I mean, the other day at work, I learned that there's basically two internets. Okay, like somebody started talking about serial killers, right?
Okay.
And they were talking about like first off, they were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, and how Jeffrey Dahmer was like a cannibal. And so another employee at my work was like, John Wayne Gacy was a cannibal too. And I'm like, no, like, and everyone else was trying to tell him, no, like, no, he wasn't. Like, I literally never heard of that. Nobody else had ever heard of that. And he pulled out his phone and he's like, look, I'll even show you. Pulls out his phone and's like, there's like when you type it into Google search and you can then like click on those other articles, you can like click on, there will be like a list of things. So he had that, but like I should have told him to click on it, and I should have asked him like how many viruses he gets, because I tried to like, I don't use regular Google search. I use like DuckDuckGo for my search engine or whatnot. I tried to look it up. There, I could find nothing on it.
Well, and you had told me about it, so I had looked at it, and there is some connection between him and Jeffrey Dahmer, but it's not cannibalism.
But it's probably the fact that they kept like they kept their victims, maybe?
I think they were both had something to do with Milwaukee also.
Okay, like John Wayne Gacy was out of Chicago. Maybe the Midwest?
But Chicago's not that far from Milwaukee.
Yeah. Maybe like it was like the Midwest connection, or the fact that they both had like maybe killed their first victims when they were younger or something like that.
And I guess this is like topics we're going to get into over the next few weeks, like cults. And like the internet. Like the internet is, you can find anything on the internet that is going to, give you what you want. The information that you need somehow.
Like, that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up, too, because we've had issues with this before, like, on our show. It's like, people, I mean, I'm learning more and more that people can just, whatever they want to believe. I don't know if it's maybe, like, their phone listening to them. I mean, because sometimes it is crazy. Like, I'll say something in my phone, and then, like, there will be an ad that will pop up for something like that, Like,
what?
I don't know. It's just weird, but it's like there's nothing like. And then I started remembering. I'm like, dude, I've watched all the. They had a documentary not too long ago on Netflix about John Wayne Gacy, like the Gacy tapes or whatnot. I'm thinking, I think that cannibalism, if he was committing cannibalism, that would be a pretty hefty enough, juicy enough topic for them to discuss in the documentary, and they didn't. And what I wanted to say to the dude at my work, I'm like, dude, don't make me defend a fucking serial killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta fucking defend this guy because I'm like, fucking cannibal. He was a terrible person that buried a bunch of fucking people under his house and whatnot in the crawl space. But I'm like, he never fucking ate them. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I just internet's evil. It's evil. Unless he's finding
and the
someone.
guy, the guy was a total dick to me. He's like, finally, I realized like there was nothing that I was going to be able to say to him to make him realize that he was wrong. So I was like, all right, dude, fine, whatever, you're right. And he's like, he got all snotty, like a teenage girl back to me. And he's like, yeah, that's right. I'm right. I'm always right. And he's like going like, I was like, okay, whatever. I'm like, what else do you want? I was like, one of the other guys at work, his wife brought in like cooked banana bread and brought it in for everybody. I'm like, you know how like you say to somebody like, what do you want, a brownie? I'm like, what do you want me to go get you another piece of that fucking cake, dude? I mean, like what else? Then he wouldn't shut up about it. And I'm like, and I felt bad for him because I'm like, I know he's wrong the whole time. And so do all the other guys. And all the other guys, they're like, we don't even argue with him because he's like this all the time. He just thinks he's right about everything. And he'll just pull out his phone and he'll pull up an article that he thinks he's confirming that he's right.
You know what you should have done, and you probably would have ended it, was, well, you know what you have in common with a lot of serial killers? They're narcissistic too.
Right? Yeah. Like, how many bodies do you have buried at your house, dude?
Yeah. Do you have any recipes?
Yeah, that's what he started saying too. He's like, he goes, John Wayne Gacy even wrote a recipe book about, he said that too. And I'm like, dude, no, he didn't. And then he's like, yeah, he's also Pennywise. And I go, no. I go, look, I don't know for a fact. Maybe Stephen King did model Pennywise after John Wayne Gacy. Maybe that was part of the influence there. But I'm like, Pennywise is a fictional character. He was the character in It. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, we'll get into murderers, and cults into separate podcasts in the near future. But it's the holidays. I found some other statistics though on homelessness. You know how we said California had 44 out of every 10,000? London has 50 out of every 10,000. So it's not just an American problem.
Holy cow! And London is worse than California?
Yep. Sweden.
Oh, damn.
Sweden, 36 of every 10,000, which I was surprised at hearing that. Sweden?
I know. I thought that they were supposed to be like one of like the happiest, best run countries.
Yeah. Switzerland, 2.5 out of every 10,000.
Okay, so they're doing things right. I mean,
well, everybody's good looking, and so, who wouldn't want to take, some blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl and like, oh, you're homeless, come on in.
Right? Yeah, you don't have a place to live, you do now.
Yeah. Dude, and here's one that was really surprising, but I don't know if I believe it. In Tokyo, Japan, 1 out of every 34,000 people is homeless, which is 0.003%.
Well,
I don't know if that sounds accurate.
I actually do believe that one. And reason being, I remember when I was in high school and they were talking about, it had to do with one of the Asian countries and someone going over there and visiting it. And they were talking about, they're like, you guys don't really have a homelessness problem over here. And they had said how, no, we don't, because in our culture, the family takes care of the other family members who aren't doing so well, whether it be like mental issues, like mental health issues, or, they just, they're not doing so well economically. They're more into taking care of their families than just kind of not like ignoring them.
Well, that makes
or whatnot.
That actually makes sense then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're more family oriented, I guess.
And then that gets down to the fact of why is there so much homeless? I mean, you have income inequality, you have mental health issues, drugs, and stuff like that. And it seems like, in this country where we have the biggest military budget by far, what's it like? We're like the same as the next 12 countries down? Something like that?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know for a fact on that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It seems like we could take just a little bit of that money and put it towards this problem.
Right? You would think.
You would think. But that's socialism, right?
Right. We can't have that. We're only allowed to have socialism for the rich. Damn it.
So it's getting colder out, and some of the most needed items, and that they ask for donations for homeless shelters, personal hygiene issues, items. I know that that's something that you and I do. We collect our little shampoo bottles, our little soaps, and we hand them in, to our friends that take care of those things.
Oh my gosh, I have like a bag full of them that I need to give to our friends that put together this stuff. I have tons of them.
Yeah, I've got quite a few too. Socks. Can't get enough socks. Toilet paper. Obviously, pet food. Pet food is a lot of them because I don't know. Mm-hmm. If I was homeless, a person, I wouldn't want a dog because I wouldn't want to put the dog through that. But I guess you can't abandon your friends either. Blankets, rain ponchos. So it's holiday season. I know that every year when my kids were younger, I would always go out and make them go with me and do some Christmas shopping and get toys and, stuff like socks for lower income children who aren't going to have a good holiday, just to teach them the right thing to do, especially this time of year. Yeah, so there, we said we would have some stats on it, and we did, and, surprisingly, red states are doing better, but I think that there's something to do with the poverty line, too, there, that I haven't put my finger on.
Yeah, or I don't know. Would there be a way that they could be like inaccurately reporting things in their states? I mean, I don't know. That does seem crazy about Mississippi.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't get all conspiratorial either, because then I'm being just as bad as they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and then you probably got to look at, hey, how much is a shack in Mississippi compared to how much is a shack in California,
Right. Right, yeah, you could probably get a shack in Mississippi for a few $1,000s, huh?
Yeah, you would think. All right, so I guess we'll wrap this up. Hopefully by this weekend, I'm feeling better. We can get back sitting down and doing some stuff, because we got some topics to talk about that we want to get caught up on. But did you see last week we lost Norman Lear?
Yes, so sad.
I know.
I mean, he had a good long life though, wasn't he? Like 101.
Yeah, but he was a genius. All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times, all those '70s shows.
Yeah, all the good ones.
All the shows that you couldn't put on TV now. You'd be canceled. Those were out. And I don't know how familiar with the Howard Stern show, but Ralph Cirella from Howard Stern show passed away from cancer.
No way! I remember Ralph.
Yeah, he was Howard's stylist.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had cancer. How sad.
The thing was that he was feeling sick for like 6 months, but he didn't get treated. Said it was nothing. And by the time he caught it, it was a curable cancer, but it spread too far. By the time he had figured it out, and he went in for surgery, and his heart gave out.
Oh.
So yeah,
Sad.
I always liked Ralph.
I know. So did I. He was funny.
Okay. Well, Snow, are you all done your Christmas shopping?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, luckily I don't have to do too much, but yeah. How about you?
I haven't even started yet.
Oh, you better get going.
I know. I haven't got like a week left, 10 days, something like that.
Yeah, you're gonna get going.
I don't know. I think it's what I want for Christmas is a new head coach.
For the Patriots.
Shit, and what happened last week in football? We just got annihilated.
Oh my God. It was like, I told you that I thought that was the worst week of picks. I mean, it was just like these games, so many of the games could have gone either way. Like, that was the problem. It was like you had all the terrible teams were playing each other, all the mediocre teams were playing each other, and then all the good teams were playing each other. It was like you just had to get lucky, I guess.
Yeah, and they were all close for the most part.
Oh my God, I know. Crazy.
Oh well. I think I'm gonna owe you another 30-pack of High Life, though. I don't think I'm catching at this point.
I don't know. You never know. I could do bad this week. Because then, after how bad last week was, I'm like, oh man, I don't even know what to do this week. So I kind of just I'm like, I guess I'll just go off instincts when I'm doing my picks. You know what I mean?
I'm starting to go the opposite because I need to make up ground. So I'm starting to go against myself and going, no, here, that one's, choose this team instead.
I know. It's rough.
Yeah. I'll be throwing a fit like Patrick Mahomes.
Right? How many more weeks do we have that we have to do picks?
4 more.
4?
Yep.
Holy cow. Like, I was hoping it was over soon. I'm like, let's just get this over with.
Oh, believe me, no one wants this season to end more than I do.
Like, oh my gosh. Call it a day, man.
Yeah. All right, Snow. Do a weekly checkup. I've been just so under the weather that couldn't do it this week.
Yeah, no, that's okay, buddy. You gotta heal up.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully this weekend we'll get together, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, I hope you feel better.
All right, bye.